author and dietitian, and it's your first time to join us, so thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Mel.
Welcome.
Lovely to be here.
It's so good to have Karen on the show. I worked with Karen when I used to play at Hawthorn a long time ago. Karen was our dietitian. Then she's gone on to do wonderful things. And Arch, you love food. You're very particular when it comes to food. So it's a perfect match.
I knew Shane when he was 17 years old.
Look at him.
Oh, man, look how young.
Very first cooking class at Karen's house.
Wow, look.
Look where we all are.
Jason Dunstall, John Platten, there's Karen.
But who signs their own T-shirt?
Well, I taught me how to cook nice, healthy stuff, didn't you?
Always a bit of a larrikin. We had cooking classes at my home every Monday night.
I loved it. It was just quick, easy meals that you can go and prepare on your own. And Karen did say to me, I said, if I ever need to go to McDonald's, she said, look, I'm happy for you every now and then to maybe have some hot cakes. And that's always stayed in the back of my mind.
Did I really say that?
That's back in the day, whereas I know you've probably changed
Amazing
tack.
what people retain.
Before you started working with them, what did a footballer's diet look like?
It was about alcohol. It was making sure that they didn't drink before a game. That was one thing. But it was also it was very meat heavy. So the pre-game meal was often eggs and bacon and steak. It was easy to make some improvements, but originally just teaching the 5 food groups was sort of, you know, a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
But moving to a high carbohydrate diet and getting them to eat more pasta and rice and have more energy and being the best shape possible was great.
What's all changed? Where's it all gone, you know, when it comes to thinking about food these days? What are the trends?
Look, in the 80s, of course, it was basically everybody was fat phobic. You know, there's no butter, no cream, no fried foods. Everything was no fat. But people started to have more sugar because it was all high carbohydrate. Then the next phase was sugar was sweet poison, so it was demonising sugar. And then, you know, carbohydrates came in, but not all carbohydrates like bread and pasta were good, so you had to go the low glycemic index. So we went from sort of low carb to high carb to the right carbs, and then all of a sudden things like gluten-free sort of came out into the popularity, where before it was just a dietary regime for people with celiac disease, but then it became sort of quite trendy, and vegetarianism and veganism. But we've moved sort of a long way from general population guidelines to more personalised nutrition, and there's more than one way to have a healthy diet. And really it comes back to your genetic blueprint. So understanding your family history, understanding that you might metabolise carbohydrates differently to Archie or differently to Shane, differently to me. So some people will do better on a low carbohydrate diet, some people will do better on a high. Well, you know yourself because I think you become in tune with your body. So if you're finding that you're gaining a lot of weight and you're having a low-fat, high-carb diet, you might really look at the types of foods that you're eating. But we're now beginning to understand it's all about your gut microbiome, and that's really the move that's sort of started, I suppose, a positive message for people. Rather than don't eat this, don't eat that, we're now saying, well, it's very important to eat 30 different plant foods a week to help all the healthy bacteria in your gut flourish, and you'll be happier, healthier.
And that's hard. That's hard to eat all those vegetables and all those plants. And not only that, they taste terrible. So we're going to put you to the test, Karen, OK? We've done a little bit of a food diary. Just on the last day or two. So, you've got it right there, have you?
Shane Crawford's food diary.
Oh, hang on, don't do mine first.
Yeah, breakfast, coffee in Lamington, then banana in Lamington, followed by a peanut butter sanger with honey.
That's healthy.
Water. He drank water. And then he had KFC, a 20-piece feed, but he only ate 10 pieces.
Obviously, nothing's changed. But I think he's just tricking me.
Yes.
But you always did love Lamingtons, and
I've always had a sweet tooth.
You always had a sweet tooth.
What about Arch? Have we got something for Arch?
We do.
Mine's good. I think mine's good.
Is it?
OK, brekkie, protein powder, unsweetened almond milk, blueberries, banana.
Wow.
Lunch was an omelette, muffin, oat yoghurt, almonds and an apple.
Wow, that is very, very good.
Yeah, please clap. Please clap. I try to I guess as an athlete, you try to stick to what you know.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Well, it's not perfect, but it's like going to... No,
I can't even lie perfect.
no, there's a couple of suggestions. First of all, I noticed that you're not having dairy, so you've basically gone to almond milk and oat milk. So are they calcium fortified? Do you know?
Yeah, I haven't. Where can you find that?
It should be on the label.
OK, I'm going to look for that. Is it important to have that or not?
Very, because it's very important as you get older, or at every age really, that you get enough calcium because it's very important for bones, and calcium is also important for muscle contraction and nerve transmission. So you need, if you're going to wipe out dairy, you need to make sure these plant-based milks are fortified with calcium.
OK.
And are they in Lamingtons? Like, no. Now, Mel,
Coconut
can we go through yours? And are you being honest?
Yeah, although it was a day on the run and some of this was eaten at the airport. I had a piccolo coffee in the morning and an omelette for lunch and charcuterie antipasto at the airport. And then a bowl of pasta and a glass of wine for dinner. So I'm probably the only one that's telling the complete truth.
Well, it's sort of like a bit like the Mediterranean style of eating, which is quite a good way of eating. But what I've noticed with the three of you is that I don't think you've recorded one vegetable.
Oh.
The House of Wellness, we're not having any vegetables.
And we're not exactly living examples of it.
Because that is really the most important aspect for all of us, to have plenty of vegetables every single day. We need at least 5 serves. Half the cup is 1 serve. And you need a variety and really legumes. If there's one, makes me laugh. And I look at Shane and I think of legumes because I remember you said it's so windy. And I remember saying, it's OK, it's not your problem, it's the person's next to you.
Yeah, well, that's me. So if you don't mind, don't give him that advice.
Do you know what I love about all this information? And one thing I always learned from you was moderation is the key, you know?
Exactly.
So if you go too far one way, just pull it back for the rest of the week.
Exactly. People are getting so obsessed and anxious about what they eat. I would say relax, because really you've got to enjoy food. Food's more than just nutrition. It's basically about who you're eating with, and often you eat less if there's somebody opposite you who's very attractive, because you don't want to eat. Yeah, apparently there's some research on that. So you're right, moderation is the key. You go to the 80-20 rule. I give up.
Yeah.
This is why I love my business. Exactly.
But I actually like that, thank you, because I think we're getting ourselves all twisted over so much, and just bring it back to simply.
Exactly.
Thank you, Karen, very much.
Thanks, Karen.